It's not 7 o'clock yet.
Oh, yeah, it is now.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you're
It
right.
just turned 7.
It did.
Okay. It's now 7 o'clock. I want to welcome everybody. Have at the beginning of the meeting what we call the public or open forum, where we invite people to ask basically the concerns or issues and that they may have about the zoning board of appeals responsibilities. For those, Lynn, are you participating via Zoom?
Yes, I am. I thought you had to do a vote. The sound had been off for a bit. I couldn't hear.
No, we're just getting started. And again, I was just mentioning about the open forum. So I'm going to make a motion that we open the public forum. And for those that would be interested in participating, would you be one of those, Lynn?
Yes, I would like to speak, please.
Okay.
Okay. Lynn Bruning, 13388 Dwaynesburg Road. Please include this letter in the official record of the meeting's minutes as posted on the town website. At the July 8th, 2021 town board meeting, the board voted to leave the draft solar facilities law, local law 1 of 2021, and the draft commercial facilities event law, local law 2 of 2021 public hearings open for public comment. I just want to remind all board members and citizens to please request that. The next town board meeting is Thursday, July 22nd. I urge the board members and town residents to please contact the town clerk for the latest version of the draft solar law. It does change, not always up to date on the town website. The clerk will have the most recent version. Please give it careful consideration and then submit comments to the clerk. I also urge the zoning board and residents to please contact Supervisor Tidball and request a moratorium on battery energy storage. I first requested the town enact a moratorium on storage at the June 11th, 2020 town board meeting. This was due to my concerns about containerized storage at Oak Hill Solar, and I continued to make multiple requests to the town planning and zoning board over the last year. At the June 24th town board meeting, Supervisor Tidball and Councilman Senecal informed me that Oak Hill Solar would not have containers of battery energy storage. And you can watch the meeting on the town's YouTube channel, and that begins at battery storage is at minute 1:15:00. Unfortunately, or however, on July 15th, Green Cell presented to the planning board an amendment to the approved September 2019 Oak Hill Solar site plan. The developer is now requesting to add 4 53-foot containers of battery energy storage, of which he admits are not shown on the approved site plan. Unfortunately, the town has not written a law to protect our soils and waters from leaky lithium-ion batteries, as well as PFAS firefighting foam. Town has not restricted explosive batteries from our residential neighborhoods, and it has not provided regulations for disposal and transport of the tons of batteries required for approximately 2 hours of storage that will be used to help National Grid provide steady delivery to downstate residents. More than anyone else in this town, the zoning board members understand how today's land use planning will impact generations of Dwaynesburg residents. I ask you to please review the draft solar law and to please request the town board to enact a moratorium on battery energy storage so that we have a safe and healthy town that can move forward for generations. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Are there any other interest in participating in the public forum? Okay. Now, I understand, are you here on this particular matter? Yes, okay, all right. If you'd be patient enough, we want to deal with our first application. Okay, thank you. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and close the public forum. And we can look at our application. Mr. Kupsini, is correct. Again, you were here last meeting and you were looking to build a garage that would require setbacks. Okay. And if I recall, there was going to be one front yard setback based on the East Shore Road or South Shore Road. And then there would be also side yard requirements as well. That is correct. Okay. I just had a question now. My Lake Road basically ends there at your property, or at least to the east side.
Lake Road on the east side ends at my property. On paper, it continues through my property and through my next door neighbor's property. It's a paper road. It has never been claimed by the town. The fence, we bought the property less than time. The yard, our property has been fenced for over 20 years now. So again, I don't know, I'm not a legal scholar, but the fellow I bought the house from was an attorney. And he told me, I don't remember the term, but after 15 years, once the property is fenced, the town no longer has a claim on that piece of property. Whatever it's called.
Adverse possession.
Okay, I don't know. Anyway, I have planned the building not to be across the paper road anyway.
Right.
All right, if it can be positioned where I have requested it to be positioned.
Okay. Right, because your property extends, well, again, it just, from what we were looking at, and then physically, when you look at it, it looks like the Lake Road ends there, per se.
Yes, it does now currently end there because of the fence and the fact that the two properties that are mine now, one property, right, it was a lake shore lot originally, and then an upper lot on the other side, on the, what would have been the south side of Lake Avenue, have been incorporated into one lot for many, many years. I don't know when that was done.
Right.
And the upper lot, when it was designed, I'm assuming, again, I'm new to the area, but I'm assuming that when it was designed as a 75-foot by 75-foot lot, it was a legal building. And now you have 40-foot setbacks. So now I could put a negative 5 by 5 building in the middle of it.
Yeah. Well, again, that's an issue that we encounter quite a bit. It's what we call a pre-existing undersized lot.
So anyway, I'm requesting the setback variances so that I can put a garage up on that upper portion.
Okay. So does that make sense? Again, for all intents and purposes, we're dealing with this as if it's just one lot, one piece of property. But Jonathan, what was the phrase that you used?
Adverse possession. Entitled to a claim of adverse possession.
Adverse, okay.
The road. It's not automatic to apply for it. One time since I've looked at an adverse possession. This is also.
And again, I know nothing about it other than the attorney that I bought the property from mentioned that to me.
Okay.
I know nothing about it.
But again, from our perspective, that we're just looking at it as if it's one lot.
And not that it matters, but in a case like that, because that was a right of way, that might complicate the adverse possession issue. In other words, the right of way wouldn't necessarily disappear. even though possession changes.
Hmm.
Somebody could still put a utility through there if it was required.
Okay,
Not that that would ever, be at all likely.
right. And again, not anything that we need to be concerned with.
Right. I mean, the same is true regarding property boundary lines. Those can be used as right of ways, which is why it's never a good idea to build a building straddling a property.
Right, because you could be ultimately vulnerable to.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we determined then, again, this is it's going to be a 35 by 36 foot footprint.
Yes.
Okay. And as it's proposed site here, it's going to be 23 feet from the front, the South Shore Road.
From the edge of the road. Yes, somebody told me you measured from the center of the road, so I made my measurement from the edge of the road.
Okay. So then for the front yard setback, that would require a 17-foot variance. Okay, and then on the east side, that's 30 feet from the property line. That would require a 10-foot variance.
It was a 10-foot side.
Well, the other side, the west side,
Oh,
Is
okay.
opposite.
Yeah.
That's the west side.
yeah. So the east side is going to require a 10-foot variance, and then the west side is going to require a 30-foot variance. And because this is a garage, it's not a dwelling, it doesn't qualify for the proportional reduced setbacks. If you recall, then again, so we have to stick with the 40 all the way around. Make sense? Okay, if we're all in agreement with the variance request, I'm going to go ahead and make a motion that we open the public hearing regarding the request in this matter.
Second,
All right,
aye,
John?
Aye.
Matt?
do we have any participants via Zoom? You folks are here if you're interested in commenting on this particular application. Okay. That being said, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing regarding this matter.
I'll second.
All right.
Aye.
aye,
Okay. So I want to go through the factors to be considered.
The two parcels have been merged into one tax map parcel.
I'm sorry.
The two parcels are merged into one tax map parcel.
As far as I know, I only received one tax bill, so that's, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Good.
Just wanted to say.
And again, I'm making that assumption.
Yeah, no, if you only get one bill, that means there's only one tax parcel.
Well, I think, again, we've only owned the property since September. All of that was done in the closing of the property. I'm not 100% certain. I just want to put that out there. I'm just so, you know, it was all done by the attorneys at the closing time. haven't actually received a bill from the town of Waynesburg yet, or the lands or whatever for my property. So
It was last September, you said, you should have gotten the tax bill in January.
I haven't gotten any.
Well, or your mortgage lender might have gotten the tax bill in January.
But the deed doesn't make reference to more than one parcel,
Yeah.
so.
And as I said, as far as I know, it's regarded as one parcel.
How do we explain that Paper Street wasn't gonna cause the need for a rear setback?
Oh,
Coming
I
from
see,
the
oh,
other
yeah,
side, and if it's all considered one parcel, then that could be a rear setback.
yes. Yeah, that would complicate things to no end, so.
Right, that's just satisfying that point.
Okay, so I want to run through the factors to be considered. The first being whether an undesirable change would be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties.
No,
No,
Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative to variance.
not really.
So it's the only place that it can't be put on the property.
Yeah, and even if it were to be moved, towards one side or the other, you'd still be in need of a variance.
And I'm thinking of the front yard setback, as I recall, it needs to be so far from the lake and.
Yeah,
and the land.
whether the requested variance is substantial.
yes.
Suppose one piece of it could be considered.
Yeah, the west side. Would the variance have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood?
No,
Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created.
So, anyway.
Okay, if somebody were interested in making a motion regarding.
I will move that we grant this.
You got it right. You're one of the very few people.
270 South Shore Road, SBL 35.10-2-1.1, a 17-foot front yard variance, a 10-foot east side yard variance, and a 30-foot west side yard variance. For the purpose of building a
36 by 35
26 by 35. A garage, well, with a 10,
with a 10 foot
20.
into it.
with a 10 by 35 overhang. For the findings of section 14.5.2B, providing a building permit be obtained within 6 months. All other aspects of the ordinance.
I just want to add that this is on a pre-existing undersized lot, even though it didn't allow for, again, the pro-grading of the setbacks, but it just an acknowledgement that it is pre-existing undersized. And I'll prove as well.
okay.
Just to say it, or did you already second it? or-
I did.
She already seconded, I just wanted to get that in.
Nelson Page amended the motion.
You can make,
Nelson? Diane?
aye.
Nelson?
Aye.
Matt?
Uh,
And
All right,
You're all set? Thank you. You're welcome.
When can I acquire a building?
Mark,
Yeah,
Well,
Did you already submit one?
I believe I submitted the paper.
You did submit it?
I believe it.
Okay, then I'll just go in the building file and then I'll just put the variance in there, so the person also will know that.
I believe I submitted everything, this, the one time I was here,
Oh.
the permit and the variance application.
Yeah, I can get it from Sarah. I'll put it in there, so I will put it on the desk and it will be reviewed probably by the end of the week. We'll give you a call.
I'm just trying to align, I got my contractors, I want to call them and say, I got a permit, you know? Please, let's get going.
Yeah.
You know, this-
Right. So once I call you for the building permit, and like, you can call the contractor and say you're ready. All right.
Now, I have one question. That's nothing to do with building permit. I jumped on my bike to come here. I realized when I got here, it's almost out of gas. Can you make tell me where the closest gas station is?
Stewards. Yeah, New Waynesburg.
Thank you. Because I might not get home.
It's,
At least that's downhill.
Yeah, there you go. You coast the worst away. Thank you. But well, you'd have to go uphill to get to.
yeah, sure. More power.
Rick's Feed Mill,
Right,
yeah.
all right.
Okay.
How you doing? Can you just state your names?
I'm Scott Oliver and my wife Barbara.
How you doing? Now, I understanding you had something that you wanted to run by us?
Yes, essentially, we've lived in our house since 1978. It's short of, Can I-
You can go.
Yes.
It's hard for me to see. Our house is right in here. It's kind of fuzzy in my eyes right here. And what we intend to do, we've been there for 44 years, something like that. We've been married a year more than we lived there. And we raised our children there and whatnot. And it's time now to downsize. And we're looking to, well, we've evaluated leaving the area, but our children are in the area. Our grandsons are in the area. And we appreciate your daughters because we've got a lot of young grandsons. And what we want to do is subdivide our property. Essentially, our property is within the black area. And essentially, we're going to look to go over here and go out and come down. So we're going to sell off essentially the house, the barns and that stuff, and predominantly the woods. Some of the woods in here are very old hemlocks. I can't put my arms around them. They're huge. And what we want to do is to, Dale Warner told us we have to be within 60 feet. He called it a flag something, a flag lot, where we want to have our drive going back and then head up to the southern border. The land up here is at the high spot. And we're looking to get a distant view of the Adirondack, the foothills of the Adirondacks up there. There are about 8% slopes in this field. I used to, as a hobby, I'd grow corn and rye and that kind of stuff
Can
in my
I just
younger years. I don't.
ask, what's the road that your property abuts
Oh,
currently?
no, well, it used to be called RD1. It then got turned into 407. It then got turned into Route 160. And now it's called Mariahville Scotch Church Road.
Okay,
The lake, I can show you.
we don't have one of those pointers, do we? That's all right.
Here's the lake.
Okay,
Here's the road that goes into Schenectady. This is Batter Street.
okay, yeah,
This is, well, the school was here where our kids went. The firehouse is there. You come down, that heads to, that takes you down to
and
Pattersonville.
this is north, correct?
This is north.
Okay,
On there, north is towards the ceiling, south is towards the bottom.
okay,
Okay. Our property is essentially in here.
okay,
Okay. And this is Paul Drury's property here. And-
okay, I can see some of this is
Yes.
displayed there, okay.
Yes, and essentially we're looking to come in here. There's, to the south of us, there's 3 different homes. And what that fella ran into
Existing,
pre-existing, whatever. Okay, the couple right adjacent to us, they got a 198 lot that was added in through various deeds over the years. The next one up is 198, and then Billy Clark, he's got 99 feet up there. Their houses are right along the road. This hedgerow here, which I believe is my hedgerow, and I own some land in here, that's that one jog to the left
Okay.
that you see. Okay, just to orient you.
So what's drawn in is coming here and then kind of comes this way?
Well,
Or is it up
it comes here and then it goes up the hill. And
Okay.
I'm talking around in this area. It's gonna be roughly, well, other people can't see what I'm doing.
That's all right, I just wanted to get a sense. So basically, we're looking at north of Mariahville Lake.
Yes,
Okay,
that's correct.
that's fine.
Yep, it used to be the George McCone Farm, Farm 38. And the 3 lots to the south towards the floor, okay, were children of his, and he gave them places to live. And then over the years, well, the house just to the south of us, that's been changed out 3 times, 4 times. The house up to that used to be the Zubas when we were there, that's been changed out 2 or 3 times. Billy Clark's always been there.
So there's an issue with the grade, then you're saying that,
Not an issue with the grade. The issue is that this is sloping downhill.
okay.
Okay, this is at the top of our property,
Okay,
and it's from here that we can see the foothills of the Adirondacks.
gotcha.
The further down the hill I go, okay, and I've got some pictures. I took some pictures of there's a stake right in this corner. I could find that. And this lot here, I actually talked to the lady, she's still alive, that built the house here. She's a McCone. And they bought an additional amount of land from the people that lived here prior. And there was a stake driven. So I went trying to find it, and I could find
You
it.
mean like a pin or?
It's a post. It's like a 3/4 inch galvanized pipe that was
Yeah,
found in the
okay.
ground.
Surveyors.
I don't know if it was surveyed. That's where they found the post. And in
Oh,
the
right.
deed, they said, that's the corner.
Right.
Okay, so that's fine. I cannot find any other ones.
Hmm.
Okay. But before I start pouring money into having surveyors come and all that kind of stuff, what I kind of wanted to feel out is the back of Billy Clark's property, roughly 144 feet, 150 feet away from there is where I would build, because I can get, it has to do with the view. That's
Right.
the sole thing is
Okay.
view. I could build in the middle of this field. Okay, no problem. I could build over here, okay, which we discussed, my wife and I discussed, but I don't want to see the back of our old house. I don't want to see what they're going to be doing to it.
So your access to your new lot there is gonna be that, kind of that black line?
Yes, I drew this in,
Okay.
okay, and I put a circle roughly where I want to put it.
Hmm.
And you want to start going to the slides? I'll give you a feel kind of for, again, just to the left of here is where that post is dug. And I stood
Okay.
out and I'm looking towards the road. This is the hedgerow and stuff, and I'll be coming in through here. I think Dale Warner told me you gotta have a minimum of 60 feet, which is not a problem. He said, I don't have to have all 60 feet cleared because I don't want to take out my blueberry bushes. Okay, so I've got issues like that.
Yeah,
but,
well, that's
but I
actually
can-
understandable.
Okay, but I've got, okay, he said at least 10 feet. And I said, that's not a problem. I can come 10 feet. It goes back about 5 feet back that way. Okay, okay, the next slide, Melissa. Okay, this is that corner looking up towards the hedgerow. It's looking from. Yeah,
So you would like the house to sit up in there? Is that?
yes, it'll be up by that hedgerow up there. Okay, so
Okay.
you're at this corner and you're looking up this way. I'd look back, well, it's actually along here. This is an
Okay.
older map. I don't know when this was, it was in the house. Because I planted 100 and some odd spruce trees, which are right in my way. That was 40 years ago when our daughter was born, but so all of that's gonna come down. But I can get this, I can.
So that
60 feet is
stake you were talking about, is that right
Right there.
there? Gotcha,
right there,
okay.
right there. So the first shot was you were looking this way.
Yeah,
Then this shot here is I took a shot up the hill. Okay. Next one. Okay, my back, the other farm on the other side, that's Paul Drury's farm.
okay,
He's got 100 acres. It was his grandfather's. He grew up there. His father grew up there. Paul grew up there. Okay, so my back is up against the hedgerow. I'm probably about 10 or 15 feet away because it's junk. There's brush and stuff like that.
yeah,
But I ran 100-foot tape down the hill. Okay. And again, it was overcast. I couldn't get a nice clear picture of the view that we have up there. Next slide, please, Melissa. I think I go down. Yep. Here's the bottom of my 100-foot. And you can see that you're getting more of the tree and you're not going to get it. So from here, you go further down the hill. They're about 8% grades, I think.
okay,
So my whole thing is if, we want to get up as high on the hill as we can.
okay,
Next slide, let's see. This is looking from about the corner. This is the hedgerow along Paul Drury's boundary and mine. And this is the back of Billy Clark's place right in here. So I'd be a distance from him. Next slide.
so if anything, we're.
That's looking back up. That's 100 feet down,
Okay,
looking back up. So I'm talking, coming down about 20 feet. And again, I'm not looking for approval. I'm just looking at, is this an irrational thing that I want to do? I've got, what's the next slide that I've got? This is on the road. This is Paul Drury's field. His barns are that way down the hill. His house is further down the hill. He's on one of the corners of the 100 acres, and this is on the opposite end. This is Billy Clark's place over here. And it'd be right around in here someplace on the other side is where we'd be building.
okay.
Do you have another shot?
And this is all R2 zoning?
What's R2?
It's this,
Residential,
Say it again.
residential agricultural.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Basically, you have your own well and septic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That it was there when we moved there.
Okay.
I can tell you who put it in. He's dead. but,
No, because again, that kind of dictates the setbacks. Yeah, so,
Well, essentially, what I'm looking for, before I recognize I've got to do sublot division, I've got to get surveyors and I've got to do all of that kind of stuff. I recognize that, which is an expense. And if I think that the property where we want to build is fairly isolated. You would probably make my wife happy if you said you can't do it. Okay.
but we're still working on, we're still married. She's a city girl, but I'm just kind of, is this an irrational request? I'd like to get as close to it as possible. I don't want to be about 20 feet. And again, it's in the middle of that hedgerow. I went up, I had some shots where I went up onto the stone wall. Well, it's not a stone wall, it's just a pile of stones. It's probably 10, 15 feet wide. They've been put there probably by the Jury's family and by the Cohn family over the years as they farmed it.
Yeah,
And just a lot of brush and stuff. But I'd like to get as high up on that hill as possible.
okay.
So
So,
Nelson, that would be a side setback, correct?
well,
Thinking that looks like a side setback. I'm also curious where the 100.
Yeah.
Where do you think you need 100 foot from?
I think Dale Warner told me that it's 100-foot setback.
Well,
Setbacks are 100, there's 100 foot is a lot dimension size.
yeah, no,
I'm
the
not sure where
setback,
you're
the
getting
front
at.
yard setback is normally 80 feet.
80,
And then it's
40 for a
40 on
side,
each side, and the rear would be
also 80.
also 80, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what, all I did was take whatever Dale told me Friday, I guess we talked.
So if that's a side setback and we can agree on that, then you would need 40 feet from the line.
Okay, so 20 feet would be out of the question.
And it's not out of the question, you
No.
would then require.
That's when I'd have to ask for a variance.
Well,
Exactly.
Yeah, but if you move it 20 more feet, you wouldn't even need a variance, assuming it's the side yard.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the first thing, if you're gonna be subdividing this property,
yes,
you're gonna go to the planning board first.
yeah,
And then they allow you to create the smaller lot. But if it also is gonna involve, again, this new home and require a variance, then normally the planning board sends you to us first, we look at it, and then send you back to the planning board kind of thing.
but in order to go through all of that, I've got to have it surveyed. And I guess before I even have the expense of surveying, if it's an irrational request to say to get within, I'm guessing 20 feet, because I don't even know where the center of that hedgerow is.
Yeah.
Okay. But I kind of was guessing and just kind of took my rule, stretched it out and said, okay, yes, we were up there. Yeah, we can see the foothills on a clear day.
Yeah,
It's not a phenomenal view, but it's the further down that field I go,
the less you see,
the less I see.
yeah.
Are you planning on a 2-story structure?
No. No, it's gonna be a 1-story ranch, handicap accessible. We hope to die in it, type of thing.
So you just want to know if 20-foot variance is reasonable to ask?
Yeah, yes, that's what I'm kind of here. And I don't even know if you can say that yay or nay, but
It's not an unreasonable request. The only issue is that, I don't know, what was. This is like somewhat to a degree, a self-created, situation.
yes, it is. And for a
But-
selfish reason, I want to get as much of the view as I can.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that it rules it out, but we just take that into consideration.
Say that again.
It doesn't mean that we rule it out. It means that we just take that into consideration.
Have you granted things like that before, where it's not, I can't imagine other people as crazy as me wanting to build that. Well, I'm hoping that, Dale told me that 60 feet, what do you call the flag? Along the boundary, right, have a 60-foot path for the driveway.
Driveway,
And I'm hoping that would eliminate having anyone further develop this land, in the future.
yeah.
Because I'd like to restrict that. I don't want to further develop. We're probably gonna pass it on to the kids. And, or grandsons, whatever.
So currently the lot size that you own now,
Is roughly 80 acres.
okay, and you're gonna reduce that to,
Roughly 60 and 20, 60 and 20 roughly.
okay, so you're gonna keep the 20 part for yourselves?
Yes.
Okay,
And I'm hoping in the back corner.
can we put the lights back on? That way, and then,
This is Paul Drury's farm. This is our place. And there's 10 acres back here.
okay,
And it's got a 20-foot right of way along the southern border to the road. But there's no way you can get there. I talked to the fellow, he's a 94-year-old man. He lives in the GE plot down in Schenectady. And I told him I'd like to buy it from him. Just essentially to round, my
Oh,
boundary is
okay.
gonna go down along here.
yeah,
There's gonna be 60 feet out, and then there's a jog, and then it comes along this. Then I was gonna sell out the rest of this. That was a divorce settlement. The lady we bought it from, she had, I think, 3 husbands, 4 husbands, 3 husbands. The last one, she moved into the house down here, and then
okay.
proceeded to shoot her husband, killed him. And she ended up in Dannemora. If I'd known that Mariah was like that, we probably would not have moved there.
So Gail has basically said for your driveway that it
60
needs,
feet.
okay, and then not, because that's not gonna require a variance then.
I don't think so.
I would hope not.
No, he said that the only
Yeah.
thing I had to do was, he said, just stay back 10 feet. And I said, yeah, I can do that. I said,
Okay.
because when I plow and stuff, I said, I was gonna have, well, I wanted a ditch.
Okay,
Because it's the uphill side, so I want a ditch, a shallow ditch,
right,
all the way up along the drive. The drive's gonna be close to a little over 1,000 feet. Which, there's other things that, if it turns out the drive's gonna cost me $100,000 and get utilities
Well,
factors
yeah.
$100,000, we're gonna say it's not worth the trip.
Hmm.
But
Well, so you say if we said, well, no way that, we could approve this, means that you wouldn't even consider the subdivision and the like?
right.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
it's,
I don't know if it's rational. I don't know. If
no, it's not, irrational, okay? And it sounds like it's in, the realm of doable. Obviously, we'd want to see, more details.
Oh,
which may-
absolutely. I understand that.
And again, because if you're gonna have to go to the trouble of subdividing the property, you're definitely gonna need a survey.
Oh, yeah. And Melissa's she gave me 3 names. I'm probably gonna
Okay.
go with some lady out in Esperance.
Okay,
I talked to the secretary out there.
again, it doesn't look like, it's something that we would just dismiss out of hand,
Okay.
so.
Well, I suspect as part of this, I probably have to get Paul Drury's approval. I don't know if I do or not, but I'm far enough away from Billy and I've only met this lady a couple of times when I snowplowed out her driveway. I don't.
Well, that's where the public hearing comes into play. And again, when you go to apply for the subdivision,
Yeah,
the planning board will have a public hearing.
Yep.
Basically on the subdivision aspect, they will be notified and invited to, express their concerns,
okay.
whatever, and then if,
And I understand that could swirl it too.
it maybe depends on, again, what the planning board takes into account. They might ask for certain conditions. I mean, if somebody says, well, gee, I don't want to be looking out my back window to somebody else's house.
Yeah,
So-
these people can't see anything
Right,
much more than maybe 300 feet back. I think this is like 500. This is all woods and brush in here.
right.
Billy's got, he's got his stuff in the back. He was a junk man. He was our garbage man for years. And he's got his stuff back in there. He actually wanted to buy this and I wouldn't sell it to him because I figured I knew what he was going to do with it. And these folks here, They just mow up there. I used to mow back here for prior owners,
Okay,
and now it's growing up in brush.
so in a sense, you're gonna have your lot's gonna be a portion of this,
Yeah,
and then you're looking to incorporate this lot in the way back here that you mentioned?
well, if he'll sell it to me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if he'll sell it to me, but without that, there's still
And-
roughly 20 some acres, a
Right.
little over 20 acres in this section here.
Yeah,
And, I'd like to get that, just to make it even for the kids when we pass it on.
okay. Are you guys getting a sense of what we're looking at here?
Well, with the
Yeah,
exception
it's,
of
yeah.
the one piece, there's one.
If you want to look at this, because it almost,
Here, is one of these.
No, that's,
That's what I thought.
yeah,
That's square on the far.
that's a nice large piece.
Why didn't you
all right, anyway, we have a sense of what you're looking to do if, possible.
So it doesn't seem outrageous.
No, not really. I mean, again, once we see like the hard, property lines, and then we could go from there.
Yep.
And again, that's what the zoning board of appeals is all about. We're the exception to the rule. If, we feel it's one.
Well, we've never been here in 40 some years. And even talking with Dale, when we built the garage, he wasn't even the building inspector then. So his predecessor was done 10 or 15 years before he even got here. So.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, basically what you've conveyed, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't at least consider going forward.
Okay,
If
that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
If it was a no way, then.
Well, again, we wouldn't even make that determination until there was an actual
I understand. that as well.
variance
I understand.
request, but it's certainly from what I'm seeing, and it's not out of the realm of possibility.
So the only thing is you're not making my wife happy.
Well, that's your responsibility.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're
Thank you for your
welcome.
time. I'll probably get hold of Jill, the secretary of.
Joanne. Okay.
See what we can set up.
Okay.
And then you've given me the paperwork for subdivisions, and as long as I follow what the steps are in there, I should be fine, right?
Or just give me
Okay, no, I will. You'll be here. I promise.
Okay.
Thank you very much again.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time.
Do we have the meeting minutes from last time?
Yeah.
So hasn't the local laws been approved already?
No, they.
Oh, they did, okay, because I thought they were because we got the new comprehensive plan. Okay, so I was,
No, I think it said it hasn't been finalized.
oh. All right,
It's still from the town board.
so not, right, the two local laws,
Yep.
and then even the comprehensive plan until the local laws are determined, or,
As far as I know, the comprehensive plan is done.
okay, all right.
Yeah. it's just the people.
So did they extend the public hearing as far as the local laws?
I don't know if they closed the public hearing and tabled it, Lynn would know.
No, it sounded, as I understood Lynn, it sounded like they're taking more comment.
Yeah, I think it's, everything is still open.
Okay.
We're just taking it to the- Yeah, they're still open to public comment.
Okay. And is there any thought of when they would close or? Okay,
In new business, we have under Mr. Tersini,
yeah,
17-foot front yard, 10-foot east side yard, 30-foot west. Wasn't it the other way around?
I think it was.
Or am I the one that's confused?
It was
10-foot
Yeah,
east.
10 foot.
10-foot east,
30 foot west.
yeah,
Okay, then that's
Yeah.
fine the way it is.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
the only thing, and I was just. Last meeting, the minutes approval, zoning board minutes with adding of an attachment. And those were the local law recommendations. Zoning board minutes with adding of an attachment. Local law 1 and 2 recommendations, just so that we make reference to the fact that we did provide recommendations. And that's what they were. Because otherwise it just says an attachment, so it just. So you would start it too?
I will make a motion to
Second.
approve the minutes.
As amended.
As amended by Nelson.
Hannah,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Matt.
The other thing, I guess, the thought of paring down the size of the board, for the most part, has gone by the wayside. So we really need to have 7. So Melissa, you would ask that we,
Yeah,
We knew
there's no
anybody we
anybody.
could,
Yeah, because we're gonna need people.
right,
What do we currently,
You
are we
currently-
currently at 5 or are we missing people?
no,
We
we're
have
still
got-
7,
We are, I thought, okay, no, I
Yeah.
meant as far as current members.
where there's 6 of us,
Okay.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
need one more and then alternate.
yeah. So again, if you know anybody that's interested in,
Okay, okay.
Given their heart and soul.
Other than that, the only other thing, we're probably not gonna have a training session similar to what we've had in the more recent past as far as gathering in October.
Yeah, a lot of people like, planning board like not having it on a scheduled day, because Saturdays were hard for a lot of people.
Okay,
But it's whatever you guys want, if you want to do it on your own, and then submit it, that's fine, if you want to do a group, I just gotta know.
yeah, again, not hearing much, I'm thinking that we may be on our own. So similar to what we've done last year, and I can send out the links to what might be available for training, and then you just kind of do, I don't know, they had the webinars. Usually it's the Department of State has the local law component of it, and under that is the training methods that, because I'm not even seeing, it's the Capital District Regional Planning Commission used to have the training like at Hudson Valley.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any of it.
Right, so-
Nobody has put anything out for, which is not normal, normally
Right. I mean, there's still kind of wariness about trying to assemble people together in public, so. So that's something you could be thinking about.
Melissa, do we still have the cabinets of the workbook material?
they. Sure.
Which is another part, I mean.
Yep, yep, I said that.
That's what you did, Diane, right?
I've done that. Yeah, I'd like to get it all done.
Yeah, I'd rather, personally, I would rather get together on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, there is
Me
something
too.
nice about that.
Me too.
Yeah,
But in the past, I had done the workbooks, and last year I did the online,
yeah.
so.
I like getting together better,
So,
but whatever.
We can just do a webinar. If that's what you guys want to do.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's recognized as being acceptable for training. And again, the webinars, again, they used to, have people participate at the time, but apparently you could still, participate after the fact, because a lot of them ended up on YouTube, so it was actually fairly easy to accomplish.
On that note, are we going to be required to submit annually proof of sexual harassment training, or was that specific to last year?
Supposed to be
That's
every
not
year.
my ballpark.
that's every
That's
year.
it.
Well, I would-
It is every
I have
year,
to do
but-
The same training. as it is
Yeah,
for
I would
work
just,
vote.
as soon as you
Yeah.
get it, I would just send it to Carmen.
Yeah,
As soon as you get the one for work,
Yeah.
just
Alright.
give it to her. That way you're
Alright.
cleared.
Okay,
I have to
I
do
just
it
did one
for
about a month ago,
DDAC,
so.
but, I haven't gotten it from them yet, and believe it or not, I don't think they even do it where I work, because where my hub is, it's not even a thing.
Hmm.
It's just so weird. Uh-huh.
It's a Dover thing,
Mm,
you must.
I know, and so I'm like, I don't understand why we don't do it, but whatever,
all right.
I do it. I'm covered.
Yeah,
What are you
it's just to keep kind of everybody out of trouble. Public and or private, because, causes more grief than
Yes,
it should be, but
yes.
so be it. Anybody have anything? All right,
After we adjourn, I do.
okay, well then why don't you adjourn us and then have a,
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Diane,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
Nelson,
aye.
John.
Aye.
Dan.
Hi. I was almost gonna abstain.
Well, then you can't go home then,
Stay. Let's do this for a return.
that'll teach you.
Are you closing it out?